السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا مولانا محمد عليه وعلى آله أفضل الصلاة وتم التسليم. I begin in the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the most compassionate, the most merciful, and I send my peace and blessings upon the beloved Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, acknowledging that whomever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guides, none can misguide, and whomever is allowed to go astray due to their own wrongful actions, sinful desires and inclinations, none can guide back except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. My brothers and my sisters, it is by the blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we're here. It is a gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because every moment is a gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we have to begin by showing appreciation to my beloved Sheikh and companion on this trip, Sheikh Mustafa Khateeb, and the community of Calgary for receiving us. And the MSA brothers, Taha, Nabil, Noor, Sayyid, Shah, all of you, may Allah bless you and give you Jannah Firdaus, have been so kind and so welcoming. And of course, definitely a big thank you to our respected Sheikh, Naveed Aziz, for opening up the door for us and allowing us to be here. May Allah reward you and give you Jannah Firdaus, Ya Rabb, Ameen. My brothers and my sisters, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, بَلْ تُؤْثِرُونَ الْحَيَاةَ الدُّنْيَا وَالْآخِرَةُ خَيْرٌ وَأَبْقَى. Indeed, most of us have an affinity towards the dunya, which is low. It's a low life compared to the hereafter. Allah says, most of you have an affinity. وَتُحِبُّونَ الْمَالَ حُبًّا جَمًّا. You love wealth. Right? وَإِنَّهُ لِحُبِّ الْخَيْرِ لَشَدِيدٌ. You have this affinity as a human being for this wealth, for all the glamour and the glitter. But in reality, Allah says the hereafter is more everlasting. It is more everlasting. It's what actually stays. Everything else is temporary. Everything else is a facade. Everything else is temporary. I want you to imagine, beautiful saying, living for this dunya and living for the physical pleasure is like trying to grasp water with open fingers. You'll feel the rush, but none of it remains. Those who live for dunya, they may experience a rush here and there, but none of it remains. None of it remains. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمَا أُوتِيتُم مِّن شَيْءٍ فَمَتَاعُ الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا وَزِينَتَهَا وَمَا عِنْدَ اللَّهِ خَيْرٌ وَأَبْقَى أَفَلَا تَعْقِلُونَ. Whatever you've been given in terms of things, stuff in this dunya is just what? It's just temporary enjoyment. Temporary enjoyment in this world. But what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, an illusion, temporary enjoyment and illusion, decoration, it's just a facade. But what is with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is better and everlasting. Is better and everlasting. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes this even clearer in An-Nahl 96 by saying, مَا عِنْدَكُمْ يَنْفَدْ وَمَا عِنْدَ اللَّهِ بَاقٍ. What you have will run out. But what is with Allah will stay forever. And the ayat are so many, right? And I want you to imagine when you see the light of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when you see the light, when you experience the power of Iman, when you experience the power of being connected to Allah genuinely, it's not just something that you feel intellectually and you feel once in a while emotionally. When it becomes a part of you, subhanAllah, once you see the light, the nur of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala manifested through things around you, signs around you, you get to experience what the magicians around Fir'aun experienced. Because they asked him, أَإِنَّ لَنَا لَأَجْرًا. Are we going to get paid if we win? قَالَ نَعَمْ. Yeah, of course. وَإِنَّكُمْ إِذًا مُقَرَّبُونَ. And you're going to be brought close. So not only are you going to get rewarded, but I'm going to give you closer positions. I'm going to give you what? In modern day language, I'm going to give you a raise. I'm going to give you a promotion. So they were worried about what? They were worried about money. They were worried about reward. They were worried about compensation. They were worried about prestige, honor. Just like most of us, as Allah says in the Quran. حياة الدنيا what? لعب ولهو وزينة وتفاخر بينكم وتكاثر في الأموال والأولاد كمثل غيث أعجب الكفار نباته. Beautiful. This life is like what? Play, entertainment, joy, facade. Right? It's a competition, a race of prestige, a race of like, oh, look at me, look at, right? It's a facade for many people. وَلَهُ وَزِينَة, decoration, وَتَفَاخُرٌ, showing off, boasting, right? وَتَكَاثُرٌ, and the quest for more. فِي الْأَمْوَالِ وَالْأَوْلَادِ, more children, more, I want a legacy of some kind. And I want wealth. But in reality, so many people, subhanAllah, wallahi, they share that, on their deathbeds, all these grandchildren and great-grandchildren come. They weren't present in your life, but they're coming. Because they know there's an inheritance. So everyone comes. Then the person dies. And when they're dead, the children that you lived for, if they love you so much, they will spend 4 hours at your grave crying. 5 hours, 6 hours. But then when it's dark, they're going to go home. Your wife who loves you, you invested all your time, energy, you shared intimate moments together. When it's dark and it's sunset, everyone goes home. Your wealth, what are you going to do? You're going to try to put it in chests, lock it, and put it with you in the grave, as some predecessors have done? Look at the Egyptians, the ancient Egyptians. But in reality, the wealth becomes someone else's booty, to be looted and to be stolen and to be enjoyed. So in reality, nothing goes with us to the grave. Money is not going to be the legacy, because that goes. Right? Children, yes, they could be a legacy, but inherently, they're not a legacy unless they are given specific qualities and training, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in the Quran. And Allah says that, Al-malu wal-banun zinatul hayati dunya wal-baqiyatu as-salihatu khayrun 'inda rabbika thawaban wa khayrun amala. That wealth and children are just decoration in this dunya. They're beautiful. It's not a bad thing. Fitna can be a great thing. But most of the time, it's just It's just a decor. It's not used properly. It's an investment that is not reaped properly and not put properly. It's an asset that is not invested fully. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in the Quran, beautifully, my brothers and my sisters, وَلَقَدْ جِئْتُمُونَ فُرَادًا كَمَا خَلَقْنَاكُمْ أَوَّلَ مَرَّةٍ. That you've come back to us alone. You've come back to us alone, as we created you the first time. And you left behind you, وَتَرَكْتُمْ مَا خَوَّلْنَاكُمْ وَرَاءَ ظُهُورِكُمْ. And you left behind what we gave you, what we gifted you. You left it all behind you, behind your backs. وَمَا نَرَى مَعَكُمْ شُفَعَاءَ. And the ayat are so many. Where are the people that you thought are going to come for you? Where are the people that you invested in? Where are the... None of them are there. And that's reality. Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, my brothers and my sisters, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in Surah Yasin, وَنَكْتُبُ مَا قَدَّمُوا وَآثَارَهُم. We write down what they have presented, meaning what you've done in your life, وَآثَارَهُم, and what they've left behind. So we know that the only thing that's going to stay with you are your deeds. And your deeds are of two types. The ones that you did while you were alive, and the ones that you set in motion after your death. And those are the only two things that will help you. And the impact of those deeds is going to change you intrinsically. And that is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, يَوْمَ لَا يَنْفَعُ مَالٌ وَلَا بَنُونَ إِلَّا مَنْ أَتَى اللَّهَ بِقَلْبٍ سَلِيمٍ. That the impact of the good deeds allows you to have closure when you're meeting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What do I mean by that? Listen to this beautiful example. Listen to this beautiful example. Sulaiman ibn Yasar, on his deathbed, his daughter is wailing, wa karbatah, wa karbatah. What a terrible calamity, what a tragedy. So he looks at her and says, don't say that. Don't say that. It's like, but dad, I'm going to lose you. It's like, no. Don't say that, right? أي كرب على أبيك وقد أعددت ألف ختمة لهذا اليوم. Why are you saying what a calamity when your father has prepared 1,000 readings of the Quran for this day? He read the Quran 1,000 times from beginning to end, hoping that on the day that he's ready to meet Allah, he will have a happier, a better state of heart. And that's what we mean. The impact of your deeds allow you to be ready. You'll never be fully ready, but allow you to have closure. That if anything were to happen to me at this state, I'm okay meeting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's what we mean by qalbin salim. You come to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala happy that you've lived a life to its fullest and you've left a legacy that will insha'Allah continue that good deed and investment for you afterwards. Look at this, my brothers and my sisters, another great example. And this is Bilal ibn Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas. Bilal ibn Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas, when he was on his deathbed, he told his children, when it's time, I want you to go. I have a chest, and in this chest, I have the clothing that I wore, the armor that I wore when I fought to defend the land of the Muslims and to defend the honor of the Muslims. And this armor, it still has the dust. I haven't touched it since. It still has the dust from the days that I was in the battlefield. I want you to bring it and take the dust and pour it on me between my skin and my kafan, so that when I meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I can say, Ya Allah, I still have remnants of something that I hope I did for you, for your sake. That's what we mean by meeting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in a beautiful state. Because you have, to your best ability, done something that is sincerely for His sake. And you'll never know that it's fully sincere. And we're not guaranteed salvation through our deeds alone. It's only through the rahmah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But our deeds and our actions demonstrate our willingness to receive the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And they demonstrate our effort to receive the rahmah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So my brother and my sister, listen to this. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ says in a beautiful hadith, 7 things. يجري للعبد أجرهن وهو في قبره والحديث حسن. الحديث حسن. 7 things will continue to earn you deeds and good deeds after you're dead, even if you're in your grave. So you want to leave a legacy? What better way than to look at what the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ has said? He said 7 things. So what are those things? What are those 7 things? مَنْ عَلَّمَ عِلْمًا, whoever taught a form of knowledge. You left behind a book, sincerely for the sake of Allah, not so that you could be called a scholar. And we know the hadith, that the first 3 groups that will be fuel to the fire is the one who sought knowledge, but did it so that people can say, what a great scholar. So the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ says 7 will continue to earn good deeds after they're dead, even in their grave. Right? مَا قَدَّمَ وَأَخَّرَ. We know the ayah, مَا قَدَّمَ وَأَخَّرَ. مَا قَدَّمَ فِي الدُّنْيا وَأَخَّرَ, left behind him after, or left behind her after her death. So, عَلَّمَ عِلْمًا أو أجر نهرا. So, teaches any form of knowledge or leaves a water source behind. You build a channel, you make a pond, you establish a fountain. Any way that allows people to what? To be nourished. So you see 2 things here. Knowledge is intellectual stimulation. Right? Intellectually allowing people to stay and to stand. And the second one, nahara, is allowing people to be nourished. So he says the first one, knowledge, the benefits. Second one is you leave a river behind, a river of some kind. And some ulama of course say this could be metaphorical, as in leaving behind something that will become a good source, like opening a soup kitchen or anything like that. The third thing that he says, أو حفر بئرا, or to dig a well. To dig a well that becomes a sadaqah jariyah for you. Imagine everyone that drinks from that well will be learning, or you'll be reaping the reward of every drink that they've had. أو غرس نخلا, or planted a date tree. أو بنى مسجدا, or built a masjid. أو ورث مصحفا, or left an inheritance in the form of a mushaf, a written mushaf in script, or a recited mushaf. Like you record the Quran, you teach someone the Quran. And there's a hadith, خيركم من تعلم القرآن وعلمه. The best of you is the one who learns the Quran and then teaches it. And then finally, أو ترك ولدا يستغفر له بعد الموت, or leaves behind a young son or a young daughter, a child that makes istighfar for them after their death. That makes istighfar for them after their death. These are the 7 things that the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ mentioned in the hadith, which is Hasanahu al-Albani. These are the 7 things that the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ mentions are your tickets to sadaqah jari afterwards. To recap knowledge, the benefits, a river, a well, a date tree, any form of dates that you plant or trees that you plant, a masjid that you build, a mushaf that you teach or you leave behind, or a son, a daughter, a child that will make istighfar for you. And we know the hadith that is authentic. One of the fastest and only ways that a person levels up in Jannah even after their death, they still get raised in the rank, is when they leave behind a family that continues to make istighfar for them and continues to make dua for them. And so my brothers and my sisters, the simple message for tonight is do not waste your time. Wallahi, so many of us can do so much with our time if we focus and if we manage our time better and if we correct our priorities. You know, this concept of chilling for 6, 7, 8 hours in a row, why? Why waste your time? Do something constructive. You can be in a group of people, be in a gathering, but make sure that gathering is productive. Limit your words. Limit your words. لا خير في كثير من نجواهم إلا من أمر بصدقة أو معروف أو إصلاح بين الناس. There's not much good in what they say secretly, in their private talk. One-on-one talk, what do people talk about? You know, subhanAllah, either you're talking about someone else, or you're talking about something that you can't really change or do much about, or you're talking about politics, and you play the same circle, and the same ustuwana, the same CD over and over again, and you come to the conclusion at the end of the day, subhanAllah, you're so tired from talking that you have no energy to do anything. Right? And that's what it is, that's the reality. So cut the talk, limit your words, be measured, be protective over your time. Allah, be protective over your time. It's the greatest asset. You lose money, you can make money. You lose a child, you can make a child. You lose a spouse, you can marry again. Right? You lose a job, you can get a job. You lose a car, you can get a car. Right? Even losing subhanAllah, losing parents. Even if you lose your parents, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can allow you to have other parent figures in your life. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was an orphan, but he had those parent figures in life that were there for him. A foster mother. Right? His granduncle took that position. So everything is replaceable except time. What are you going to replace with time? Yet, if someone were to steal $1,000 from you, you'd be so angry, so angry. But if someone were to come to you and waste 5 minutes and 10 minutes of your time, very passive about it, as nothing happened. And the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he told us, make sure you take advantage of 5 before 5. And one of the things that he mentioned is take advantage of your youth, your health, your energy, before it goes, before they go. Because when they go, that's it. You're made up of days, my brother, my sister. And every day that goes by is a part of you that is gone, that you'll never be able to reclaim ever again. Invest carefully in how you spend your time. And build, continue to grow each and every single day. And I'll leave you with those 7 things that I mentioned. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to be from those who leave a legacy behind. And I'll pass it on to, inshallah, my respected and beloved Sheikh Mustafa Khateeb to take it from here, inshallah. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik. Nashhadu an la ilaha illa ant. Nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.